Caffeine is not what you need when you're tired. It's strength. When your muscles are weak, your body burns out faster doing even the simplest of things. The less you train, the less energy you'll have for everything that actually matters: your career, your family, and your goals. I want to take you back to 2013. I was 20, 21 years old. I was going to American University, I was studying law. And at the same time, I was working a little bit on the side. Okay. Now, over the course of about a year and a half of me studying, of me working, and of me completely ignoring my physical well being, I was eating college food, not really working out all that much. I put on about 65 pounds of fat. Okay. So right now I weigh about 210 pounds. I'm like 12% body fat, something like that, give or take. And fair bit of muscle on me. At the time, I weighed 255 pounds, and my body fat percentage was probably closer to like 35 or 40%. So, if you don't know too much about body fat percentages, I was considered morbidly obese. My like HDL levels were super low. My LDL was high. My cholesterol was high. Every marker on God's green earth that said that I am a healthy or unhealthy human being pointed straight at the unhealthy side. I was not good. And it was because I was ignoring that physical well being. Now, at the time, I would tell myself on a very regular basis that I did not have time to fix this problem. That when I got a better job, or when I was done studying, or when I had more resources or more time, really, that then I was going to be able to tackle this problem. Now, here's in rough numbers. I was obviously studying full time, so call it 30 hours a week worth of class loads, and then I was probably working part time, so call it 20 hours. So I was 50 hours a week, more than full time, but not insanely crazy for some of you crazy people that I deal with that are entrepreneurs or work in tech, or God forbid, work for Amazon and are doing 16-hour days every single day. So fast forward over a decade. It's 2025. And now I run two companies. I run Sasquatch Strength and I run a SaaS company. Okay? I probably work on average anywhere between 10 to 15 hours a day on most days. I'm working on one or the other. And inside of that window, I find an hour. Right now, at this period of time, I do it 5 days a week. But when I first started out, it was about 3 hours a week for training. And although I'm working almost twice as much as I was working back then, I am now way leaner, way fitter, way stronger, way more resilient, and honestly, way more capable of taking on everything that's on my plate than I was back then. Back then, I wasn't training. I wasn't taking care of my body. Felt like crap. I looked like crap. Certainly didn't instill confidence in any of the customers that I was working with, or my peers, or my professors. Um, but now, not only can I work more, not only can I take more on, but I feel great. I look great. When I walk into a room, I can feel confident that people know that I'm capable of taking care of myself. And therefore, I, in all likelihood, am going to be able to take care of them. That's a really powerful message for somebody that like really needs that edge at work or in life. So all this to say, when I finally put those excuses aside and said, I need to figure out a way to get my body to be what I need it to be for the things that I need to do, right? Not everybody needs to put on a ton of muscle. Not everybody needs to be 12% body fat. But if I took the time to make sure that I was strong enough, that I was resilient enough, that I was lean enough, that I was healthy enough, that it was going to create value in all of these other areas of my life, in my career, with my family, and it would absolutely materialize in terms of the goals that I set out to achieve. And that turned out to be 100% true. And we've proved this 1,000 times over, really like 30,000 times over at Sasquatch, with execs from Facebook and Google and Amazon and Microsoft and countless entrepreneurs. When you take the time to take care of your health and your body, it shows up for you and you are able to take more on in a very real way. And I want you guys to know this from the bottom of my heart. I am able to take on so much more today because of the work I put in to train my body and my mind over the last 10, 12 years. That's why I can handle running two companies. That's why I can work 12, 15 hours a day without burning out. And I'm talking 7 days a week. I'm not talking, 4 or 5 days a week and then take a crash. Okay. And I still feel good. I still feel resilient. I'm still able to show up for you guys like this on video and take some client calls once in a while so I can stay connected to what really matters, which is you guys. I'm able to do all those things because what you put into the gym and what you put into your body really does reflect everywhere else in your life. So if this is even remotely intriguing to you, I'd really encourage you to listen to the advice that I'm going to give you now in a second. Real quick before we get into that, for those of you sitting there being like, that's great, Isaac, but I don't have time to do this. I really want to push back a little bit and tell you that you do. Because every single human being on this planet has the exact same 24 hours in a day. And although I know you feel like you have a lot of responsibilities right now, and I empathize with you, I was right there with you. It was only when I decided to not let myself off the hook with that excuse that things really started changing. I started being more efficient, right? If I can take a little tangent and tell you guys one other quick story that I think is super valuable. I don't know if you've ever heard the story of sharpening the saw. I heard it from a phenomenal speaker a couple years ago, and it just kind of got burrowed into my brain. So there's these two lumberjacks, and every single day, these two lumberjacks get to the forest at the same time to start cutting wood. Every single day, they both leave at the exact same time after they're done. And every single day, one of the lumberjacks cuts more wood than the others. The only real difference is at around noon, one of the lumberjacks disappears for about an hour and then comes back. And the other lumberjack just kind of works through that hour. So after months and months and months of this, the lumberjack that works through the full hours goes to the other one and says, "Hey man, I don't understand. Can you explain this to me? Every single day we get here at the same time. Every single day we leave at the same time. Every single day I work through that 1 hour period that you're disappearing. And somehow every single day you cut more wood than me. What are you doing for that hour?" And the lumberjack looks at him, laughs, and goes, "Oh, I'm going home and sharpening my saw." I love that story. I love that analogy, right? Taking the time to make sure that the tool you're using, in this case, your body, your mind, is sharp, is taken care of, is so much more valuable than just keeping it shiny and new. It has actual output every other place in your life. So if you want to hear my words, sharpen your saw. It's going to increase every part of your life and it's going to make it better. Okay? Don't tell yourself you don't have the time. You know you do. You just need to make it. It needs to be a priority. It's a matter of priorities. It's not a matter of time. So, onto the advice. Number one, you can absolutely not do this on your own. Okay. I say that specifically to you, the person that's watching this exact video. If you're already having all these issues around time, you don't have enough time, you have so many competing priorities in your life, you have your family, you have your career, you have all these goals and ambitions outside of those two. I want you to make sure that you're very conscientious of the fact that if you try to do this on your own, you are going to make a ton of mistakes. Think about all the mistakes that you've made in your personal relationship, all the mistakes that you've made in your career, and think about the hedges that you've created against those mistakes. The mentors you've hired, the great managers that has helped you not make those mistakes the same way they did, the advice that you got on relationships from people whose relationships you want to emulate. I want you to follow the same approach here. Okay. Find professionals that can give you the exact roadmap to get from point A to point B. Don't waste your time trying to figure things out on your own. Okay. ChatGPT is not a mentor. ChatGPT is a tool, and if you ask the right questions, you're going to get the right answer, but you don't know the right questions to ask right now. Okay. So find somebody that can help. Number two, I want you to decide on a concrete program. Okay. I want you to find some professionals that are going to be able to do something meaningful for you. Okay. If you're willing to take the leap, we've got some amazing programs for you that I think can help. If you want to dip your toe in the water, we've got a 6-week at home program that you can follow. But in an ideal world, I want you to find a program that you're going to stick to for at least 12 or more weeks, that's iterative, that fits within the confines of your schedule, and with some amount of accountability that's going to help teach you how to make it fit into your world. That's the hardest part. It's not the actual doing it, is with the complexity that John Smith has in his life. He has a career at Amazon, he has a wife, he has 2 kids, and he's got to take them to soccer practice every single day. With all of that nuance, how do we make that program work for him? That's what we need. Okay? So as long as the program has that, I think you're going to do great. Number 3, for all you busy guys and ladies, I want you to take this super, super seriously. And that means all of these sessions, whether they're nutrition sessions, gym sessions, mindset coaching, whatever, these are meetings. Okay? These are meetings with your one on ones. These are meetings like your meetings with your manager. They are on your calendar, they are scheduled in, and they do not get moved. Okay? It is a last resort. Emergencies happen, that's fine. But it's not something that you punt whenever something else happens. This is you sharpening the saw. Remember, if you keep punting the sharpening of the saw, eventually you're going to end up like that other lumberjack. You're not going to be cutting much wood. Okay? So take it super seriously, schedule it into your calendar, schedule it into your day, and you are going to see that it's going to pay off dividends for years and years and years to come. If you found any of this stuff interesting, watch this other video over here. Best of luck.